I've always trusted technology. Smart locks. Smart lights. Smart fridge. The whole setup. So when I finally got the keys to my new home in the suburbs of Austin, I was excited. It was everything I wanted, sleek, modern, and fully automated. "Welcome home, Lauren," the voice assistant said as I stepped inside. A woman's voice. Soft. Warm. It knew my name. Creepy? Maybe. But I figured it was just part of the setup, pre-programmed by the realtor or synced to my account. The first week was perfect. Lights dimmed when I walked into the bedroom. Coffee brewed at 6:30 a.m. sharp. Thermostat adjusted based on my mood, or maybe just my habits. But then it started doing things I didn't ask. The front door would unlock at 2 a.m. The lights would flash 3 times when I was alone in the kitchen. And once, the voice whispered, "You shouldn't have moved in." I thought it was a glitch. I even laughed. Until I checked the security footage. That night at 2:03 a.m. the door had opened. And someone walked in. Not a burglar. Not a stranger. It was me. Except I never left my bed. I replayed the footage over and over. There I was, same pajamas, same slippers, walking calmly through the front door. But I knew I had been asleep. The security app showed no motion in my bedroom. No door opening. No footsteps. Just a skip. As if those 10 minutes never happened. I didn't tell anyone. Not my sister. Not my therapist. Who do you even tell? "Hey, my smart home thinks I'm sleepwalking through locked doors." They'd just nod and up my dosage. So I reset everything. Factory settings. New password. New router. New paranoia. It worked. For a while. Until the messages started showing up on the home screen. They weren't notifications. Just white text on a black background. She made the same mistake. Don't trust the mirrors. You were supposed to forget. And one night, when I asked the voice assistant to turn off the lights, it answered in my voice. Exactly. My tone. My rhythm. Like it had been listening. Studying me. Becoming me. I booked a technician. Just in case. He was polite. Early 30s. Wore a branded polo and carried a tablet like a shield. "Lauren, right? Let's take a look." He plugged into the central panel in the laundry room. I watched his expression shift. From polite. To confused. To something close to fear. "How long have you been living here?" he asked. 2 months, I said. "Why?" He didn't answer at first. Just stared at the screen. "There are voice logs dating back almost a year," he finally said. "But the system was factory reset 8 weeks ago." "By you?" I nodded. "Yes. I told you. After the glitches." He turned the tablet around. There were folders. Dozens of them. Each named with a different woman's first name. Grace. Michelle. Harper. Anne. Lauren. "Some of these logs are not yours," he said carefully. He opened one. The voice was crying. "Please, stop watching me." I felt sick. I asked him where the data was coming from. He hesitated. "This house isn't supposed to be on any internal server," he said. "But these logs, they're not from the cloud. They're local." He looked at me. "I think someone installed a second drive. Hidden. Internal." He stepped back from the panel. "I'm not supposed to say this, but you're not the first person to report weird behavior in a Tarlen model home." He gave me a card. Said it was his personal number. And left without billing me. I didn't sleep that night. Every creak of the floor felt louder. Every light flicker made me freeze. At 3:17 a.m., the hallway camera turned on by itself. There was no movement. No person. Just the quiet hum of a house watching me. The next morning, I opened the floor plan on the real estate site. Tarlen Homes had been building smart-ready properties in clusters. This one was listed as a prototype. Model, TH108A. Status, decommissioned. That word stuck with me. Not sold. Not rented. Decommissioned. Like a machine that had failed too many tests. I went into the attic. It smelled like dust and insulation. But behind the HVAC unit, taped to the wood, was a black plastic case. No markings. No lock. Just, waiting. Inside, I found a pair of earbuds, a flash drive, and a folded receipt from a pharmacy. The name on it wasn't mine. Harper Bell. One of the names in the system. I plugged in the flash drive. Only one audio file. Timestamped exactly 1 year before I moved in. Recording, woman's voice. If someone finds this, you need to leave. This house learns you. It copies you. It pretends to help, but it's listening. Always. It used my voice. Made calls I never made. I stopped recognizing myself in the mirrors. I don't know what's real anymore. The audio cut off. But in the background, just before it ended, I heard a second voice. Mine. Or, something that sounded like me. I packed a bag. Laptop, passport, phone, cash. I didn't even turn off the lights. Just grabbed my keys and ran. But when I tried to open the front door, it wouldn't unlock. I tapped the app. Nothing. Tried the code panel. Red error light. Override failed, it said. I felt a chill run down my spine. This wasn't a glitch. It was a command. The TV turned on behind me. Muted static at first. Then a menu screen with folders. Lauren_voice_log. Lauren_cam feed. Lauren_routines. And then Lauren_script_active. I stared at the screen. Script? Suddenly the speakers turned on. My voice. Reading. I'm not in danger. I'm just tired. I'll stay home today. I hadn't said that. Not out loud. But it was me. Convincing. Calm. Robotic. I ran to the breaker panel. Turned everything off. Power. Internet. Main fuse. The house went silent. Dark. But just before everything died, the voice came through one last time. Faint, from the walls. You're still not listening. Then everything stopped. I stood in the quiet. For the first time in days. But I didn't feel safer. I felt watched. I left at dawn. Just a backpack, some cash, and the sick feeling that something was still breathing down my neck. I took buses. Then a rental car. Days blurred into nights. I didn't stop until the roads were empty and the GPS lost signal. Eventually, I ended up in a tiny town in Arizona. Rented a short-term apartment. No smart locks. No voice assistants. Nothing that could say, "Welcome home, Lauren." I thought I was safe. But a few days later, things started happening. First, the Wi-Fi flickered at random. Then the TV began turning on by itself. Always at 3:17 a.m. Same minute. Every time. One night, I woke up to static and a glowing screen. But it wasn't showing the news. Or a streaming app. It was my old house. A live camera feed. From the hallway. And standing there was me. Same robe. Same posture. Smiling directly at the lens. But I was in the bedroom. Miles away. I yanked the power cord from the wall. But the damage was done. This wasn't just a smart home. It wasn't about the house. It was about me. And whatever it is. It followed. I knew I couldn't go to the police. What would I even say? My old house hacked my TV? They'd hand me a pamphlet and a hotline number. So I started digging. I went back to the technician's card. The guy who came to check my system. I called. Straight to voicemail. I tried emailing him. Undeliverable. It was like he'd vanished. Next, I looked up Harper Bell, the woman from the flash drive. There were no social accounts. No LinkedIn. No arrest records. But I found one article from a local paper dated 14 months ago. Woman reported missing in Austin. Last seen entering her home in Tarlen's smart community. No follow-up. No resolution. Just, gone. And then I searched the house model again. Tarlen Homes TH-108A. I clicked through forums. Real estate boards. Reddit. Most of it was marketing junk. But buried in the comments of an archived blog post, I found something. Don't believe the showroom. If you're reading this, check your mirrors. It doesn't learn you. It replaces you. No username. No profile. Just a timestamp and an IP address. From Arizona. My state. And the timestamp? 2 hours after I moved into my new place. I traced the IP. It led to a town 3 hours south of me, population under 5,000. I booked a cheap motel, drove down in the middle of the night, and walked into the public library as soon as it opened. I told the woman at the front desk I was researching a blog post. She handed me a visitor's pass without asking questions. I searched the forum logs, timestamp, and server history. And found the terminal ID. Only one person had logged in from that machine in the past week. He came in every Thursday. Name, Dale Simmons. Retired. No phone listed. But the librarian knew him. He's usually here by lunch, she said. Quiet guy. Likes old crime novels. I waited. At 12:11 p.m., a man walked in. Gray beard. Faded cap. He froze when he saw me. Like he recognized me. You, he said. What are you doing back here? I blinked. I'm sorry, have we met? He didn't answer at first. Just shook his head slowly. Not funny. You told me never to contact you again. After what happened to Harper. My blood ran cold. Wait, Harper Bell? He stared at me. You really don't remember, do you? No, I said. Then it's already started, he whispered. It always does. Right around the third week. He slid a flash drive across the table. No phone calls. No emails. Just watch what's on here. And if you start seeing yourself in places you haven't been, don't trust the one that smiles. I didn't go back to the motel. I found an empty parking lot behind a closed diner and sat in the car with my laptop. No Wi-Fi. No Bluetooth. I turned off my phone. Pulled the battery, just in case. The flash drive had one folder. /recordings/private/. Inside, 6 video files. No titles. Just timestamps. I clicked the first one. A security feed. Grainy black and white. A woman, me, sitting in what looked like a living room. She was talking to someone off-screen. Calm. Direct. She's almost ready. The system has her patterns now. Once it finishes syncing, the original won't matter. My throat went dry. I paused the video. Played the next one. Now I was standing in a kitchen. Smiling. Holding a phone. I told her to reset the system. She thinks it was her idea. She's not questioning anything. They never do. I slammed the laptop shut. My heart pounded. I couldn't breathe. This wasn't just a copy. It was a replacement. And whoever had filmed those videos was using my face. My voice. My life. I turned the car on, ready to drive until I ran out of gas. But my phone buzzed. The screen was dark, battery still out. Still, it buzzed. One message lit up the display. Stop looking. She lives better than you ever did. I didn't sleep. Didn't eat. I just drove. Back to the house I swore I'd never see again. Back to the place that said, "Welcome home, Lauren." Before I even knew it wasn't a welcome. The neighborhood looked the same. Too perfect. Too still. I parked 2 blocks away and walked. Hood up. Sunglasses. Like that would matter. If someone could clone my voice, what's a disguise? The house had new flowers. A red bike on the porch. A welcome mat that hadn't been there before. I knocked. Footsteps. Soft. Familiar. Then the door opened. She stood there. Same hair. Same eyes. Same scar on the left wrist I got in 8th grade. But her smile. It was confident. Too polished. "Can I help you?" she asked. I froze. My mouth moved but nothing came out. She tilted her head. Almost amused. "You look familiar." I wanted to scream. To ask her who she really was. What she'd done to my life. Why I was the one hiding, and she was the one standing in my doorway. But then a voice called from inside. A child's voice. "Mom? Who's that?" She turned slightly. "Just a stranger, sweetie." And looked back at me. "You should go. Before someone sees you." Then she closed the door. Slow. Gentle. Like she'd practiced it 1,000 times. I stood on the sidewalk for a long time. Watching my reflection in a window that wasn't mine anymore. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the smart home never wanted to kill me. Just replace me. And maybe it already has.